Alrighty guys, this is Snugsonblitz, and today I'm going to be talking about how Blitz has changed over the years. A lot of players nowadays don't remember the old days, and a lot of the old players are no longer around. Things have changed, some for the better, some for the worse, and I'm going to be talking through, I think I've got 7 or 8 things that I'm going to be bringing up here. I've written them down, and I'm going to go through them. But you get to enjoy my wonderful gameplay in the spooky. I've got 3 games on tap for you, so let's just get stuck in, shall we? The first thing that people need to understand is that way back when, grinding tanks was tough. I'm talking really, really tough. To put things in perspective, it used to take around 3,000 battles to get yourself a tier 10. 3,000. You couldn't buy tier 10s back then. The only way to get a tier 10 tank is you had to earn them. And earning them was tough. If you had premium account, it was better, but we didn't have special boosters. We didn't have ×5, ×10, all these special events, things like that. So it was rough going. But it wasn't just getting the experience that you needed to get these tanks. It was also the frickin' credits. Credits were hard to come by. Now I have every tech tree tank and I'm sitting at, I think, 125 million credits. And I don't spend a lot on this game. I've just earned those credits over the years. But way back when, it was tough. I mean, a tier 10 tank would cost you 6 million plus. I think around 10 million for one tank. One. And you didn't have those discount coupons or various coupons or bonuses or things like that. None of that. So if you look at my stats, you'll see that the SU-100Y and the T-34 are my most played tanks with 3,000 and 2,000 battles respectively. And it's not because Snugs is a seal clubber or Snugs was playing OP tanks. No. I needed credits. I had no other gold tanks to earn me credits, so I would just jump back and forth into these 2 tanks. I didn't like them, I didn't enjoy them, but I needed credits. So play the T-34, die, jump to the SU-100Y, die, jump back into the T-34, and back and forth I went. That was how I was able to afford all my tier 10 tanks. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't fun, but it is what it is. So first was grinding was a pain, and right behind it, credits were a real pain. The next big change had to be when Wargaming decided to gut the lower tiers. You don't understand, way back when the Luge first came out, Blitz became super crazy fun. It was awesome. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed that new line. The Leopard was great in tier 5. The VK-2801 was a beast in tier 6. But oh my gosh, it was crazy fun playing the lower tiers. I mean, my favorite tank way back when was the T-40. I figured out something about it, and I'm telling you, it was like a 183 on steroids. And I was the only one who seemed to know that. It was weird. So it was a sad day when Wargaming decided to basically get rid of the lower tiers and push everybody straight up to tier 6, because nowadays with, 40 battles, they're in tier 6 already, which is a huge shock to the system because suddenly you're up against a huge variety of tanks and you really don't know how to deal with it. And quite quickly you can get through tier 6 and you're up against smashers and annihilators with maybe 100 battles to your name. And that is crazy. So big mistake in my opinion. But I understand why they did it. I just thought they could have done it slightly differently in the sense of helping newer players learn the game. That's a real shame for me. So I was really sad about that. But while Wargaming has taken away the fun from the lower tiers, they added something. And in my opinion, it was a stroke of genius. What did they do? They added special modes. Way back when, we had none of that. We had to grind in normal game mode. We had to earn the turret and the gun and the tracks little by little, and it was rough, as I said. But special modes really help newer players out for 2 reasons. Number 1, they can get a new tank, grind everything they need for it, without seeing their win rate suffer. And win rate is important for many players. I think it's great that they created different modes that allow people to build up their tanks and get used to them without seeing their win rate tank. Believe me, I didn't have that option. A lot of us didn't, and it was rough. Another bonus from special modes is the ability to earn credits. I mean, when you can do 18,000 damage in one of those special modes, I think it was gravitizing or gravity mode or whatever, you're like, holy! And you see those credits pump up. You're like, wow, this is awesome. You lose, who cares? You win, who cares? Because it's just fun. So Wargaming created something that took win rate out of the equation and allowed people to enjoy the game without any pressure, in my opinion. So good for you, Wargaming. The next big change I want to talk about is a bit of a double-edged sword. It's both good and bad. I'm of course referring to premium tanks. When I started this game, if memory serves, and I could be wrong about this, you'll have to let me know in the comments below, I believe there were only 4 Tier 8 premium tanks you could purchase. There was the T-34, the IS-6, the Luva, and the T-26E4. That was it. There was one Tier 7, the AT-15, and in Tier 6, the Su-100Y. Now, I believe there were some other Tier 6 tanks, but I honestly can't remember. Let me know if you do. Be kind of a trip down memory lane a little bit. That was it. If you want to earn credits quickly, those were the tanks you had to choose from. Not a big selection. Almost nobody chose the AT-15 as it was slow. I chose the Su-100Y because it was cheap. It was, I think, $12 when I bought it. But I quite quickly realized I needed a second tank because if my tank died, I didn't have another gold tank to jump into. Plus, I found out that Tier 8 tanks earned a whole lot more credits than Tier 6, and I was like, so I bought the T-34. My mistake, because I really should have gone with the IS-6. Why is that? Well, we'll get to that a little later on because it's the next big change. But Wargaming slowly started introducing tanks that you could buy in the store. Not those tanks, those were always available, the ones I just mentioned, but new tanks. And it was pretty exciting. Like, whoa, what's this new tank? What can it do? And people were really eager to throw out their hard-earned cash to pick up a new, cool, shiny tank. And people did. A lot of people did. Wargaming earned a lot of money, I would assume, from all these cool new tanks. It would be in the store, you paid, I don't know, $40, and ta-da! There you go. Your nice, new, shiny tank. And that was great. New tanks were fun and interesting and different. They weren't amazing until, I suppose, the first big OP tank was the WZ-121 GFT. Now, you might disagree with me, but I'll explain my reasoning. Some people might say the IS-3 Defender was the first big change in the game. And it was a freaking beast. Those 3 shells was something we'd never seen before. Had 2 of them in platoon, and whew, it was nighty-night usually. But that was a free tank. You could earn it, just as the Drak and the Helsing were tanks you could earn in the Halloween event. This time, Wargaming had put a tank in the store for cash, and it was OP. That tank could absolutely shred. Heavy tanks didn't have as many hit points as they have today, and you could literally walk up to a heavy tank, take 1 hit, and just shred them. Move on to another tank, take 1 hit, and shred them. It was freaking amazing. The armor was something we'd never seen before. It was crazy. And Wargaming went, look at that. Everybody seems to want this tank. Maybe we should add more. And add they did. So now we have lots of OP tanks running around and a lot of subpar tanks as well. And guess what? Subpar tanks don't get bought. or only by collectors. Whereas OP tanks are sought by everybody. If they show up in the auction, guess which tanks sell out quickly? It's just common sense. If you've thrown $80 or $120 down on a brand new tank, you don't want it to suck. You'll be pissed. And if you're pissed, you might quit. And Wargaming doesn't want that. They want to keep you here. They want to keep you excited. So they're going to give you something, usually, that's pretty dang exciting. And it'll keep you wanting the next tank and spending more money on it. However, Wargaming decided to go one step further. They created these new OP tanks, but they said, you know what? You can't buy them. Instead, you have to buy dun 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 crates. Oh, crates. Dear Lord, I freaking hate crates. You've got smasher crates, light crates, heavy crates, European crates. I've lost track of how many different freaking crates there are. And yes, you can get lucky. And if I get a free crate from an event or pick it up as a giveaway or something, a free gift, if I open it, I would love to get something nice out of it. And believe me, I have. I've gotten about 50% of all my premium tanks absolutely free. Some because I was grinding them from an event, but most I just got lucky from snow globes or opening collect them all crate or in a draw getting a crate, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy when I get a nice shiny tank, especially an OP one, from a crate. But if I'm shelling out a ton of cash and I'm spending $50 and I still haven't got the tank, and $60 and I still haven't got the tank, and I mean, it's like 3% drop chance or 5% drop chance or this chance or that chance. Ugh. Oh my Lord. And they give you so many freaking, I don't know, things you don't want. Oh, another booster. Oh, and more boosters. And, I don't know, 2% of the tank. If you collect enough of these things, you'll get it. You're like, oh, I've only got 50 more to go. Great. I mean, it's just nightmarish, in my opinion, and very unfair. But that's the way it is. I accept that. I don't like it, but there's nothing I can do about it. All I can do is not spend my hard-earned cash on those crates. I just wait for the tank to come out later on. I pick up most of the OP tanks maybe 1 year after they're released because I find them in an auction or they're in an event that I can just grind. Who knows? But I just can't accept spending money, my hard-earned money, on crates. You have to decide what's right for you, but I don't like it because it encourages gambling. And I mean, some people I've heard have spent obscene amounts on trying to get a new tank, and there's no guarantee they'll get it because they can't get parts. So that's really rough. I wish there were two options. You could buy it outright for $100 or take your chance buying the things that will end up cost you $140. So you might get lucky on the way, but if you do it that way, you're going to spend a little bit more. To me, that would be a much fairer way to do things. However, I'm sure people at Wargaming have figured out that, hey, we can make more money doing it this way, so that's what they're doing. Oh well, it is what it is. Okay, what else do we have to talk about? Well, last few things are pretty simple. I did speak about one earlier, and that is the events. They've added all these crazy events. Every 1 or 2 months, you'll get a new event, and you'll be able to earn a tier 6 or a tier 8 tank for free. Thank you very much. That's very nice. So I really like that. They've also got Halloween events where they often give you one tank. I think it's tier 5. That's for free. But if you want the tier 8, you have to pay $10. What a fair deal that is. I mean, getting, was it a Force Witch for $12 or Annihilator for $12? I was like, thank you very much. I'll take it. Now, if you want to buy them, it's crazy. I think I paid $20 for the mouse tank. I think I saw in the store today for $70 or $80. Ouch, that's painful. So if you see a tank that you like, and it's not too expensive, go for it. Because you don't know when it'll come back in and at what price. So yeah, wargaming has undergone a lot of changes. And I didn't even mention one of the biggest here. But that was +2, -2. Way back when I was in Tier 6, I had to play against Tier 8 tanks, and that was freaking horrible. Also, Tier 8 versus Tier 10, rough. But, that made me a better tanker because I learned to be more passive in Tier 6 tanks and be more aggressive in the higher tier tanks. So, yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, my thoughts on what has changed, and as you can see, some good, some bad. Yeah, Wargaming definitely made one or two big mistakes, and they paid for it. But they did try to right the ship and fix their mistakes, and hopefully they've learned from it. And with any luck, Reforged won't make those big mistakes, as they have taken out the sets somewhat, I believe, and they've come back to the old tech tree, and they've gotten rid of the commanders, at least for now, thanks to our feedback. In my opinion, as we move into 2026, I believe that Wargaming will continue to make mistakes and get things right with Blitz. Let's hope with Reforged we don't have any disasters such as spare parts, missiles, or skill-based matchmaking, which were all horrific. Let's hope Wargaming has learned from their mistakes, and Reforged will be a breath of fresh air for all of us, but only time will tell. In the meantime, I'd love to hear from you. What changes did you love or hate over the past 11 years? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Snugsonblitz, out.